Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Silent Hill Ascension post show. Still Eduardo, still Noah. We're not replaced with over Eduardo and Foa. Now, we saw we talked about Brit a ton in our pre-show, and we'll definitely recap that at the end, right? Because we're going to have to talk about Friday's show at the end of this post show. But in the meantime, 3 scenes in Pennsylvania tonight, Noah.
Oh my God, girl, hold on, because I'm sweating here, because this was a lot. We unpacked Eric's trauma, and we're going to review that in a bit, so we'll talk about it more. But Rachel, remember our finger buddy? You know, that's
oh yeah. Like she decided to become the thing.
Yeah, she's like the collector, basically. You know, I love that she didn't cut off her own finger. God forbid.
No, she did her eye. That's more than enough.
That really is more than enough, and it did maybe bring Faith back. By the way, I am curious. I do not know this, but I'm curious if, like, when the kids were in the other world, if Orson and Faith were hanging out.
Yeah, you know, did they have a play date there? It's a big question.
Right.
But you know, the fact that, like, I like the good leadership quality in Rachel, right? It's like she took her own eye, so you can't really criticize her when she takes her finger. It's kind of like, look, I did what I had to do, so you're going to follow now. You know, there's no hypocrisy or whatever. She's ready to do what needs to be done.
She is. She will spare no other person's expense.
Yeah, no other person's appendages either. Now, today, our video premiere today, production's going to put that on. That's actually going to be the full scene playing behind us. We actually had a really serious scene tonight. Where Eric and Nora talked, right? And Eric reveals, you know, his perspective, his role, and his view, his truth, essentially, in the steel mill accident. Something we've been, like, kind of building up towards in the story, and we're finally getting the details exactly of what happened, and a lot of understanding on why Toby kept on drinking there.
Right. This is a bit mysterious. And again, drinking, you know, can lead to many destructive things, including killing all your friends in a horrible, fiery furnace. I love that Eric was like, have you ever smelled people melt? I have.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, the line was, you ever see a guy melt right in front of you? Like, I'm sure, and unfortunately,
I was just
not
thinking
the fun
of the
kind.
smell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's more like the smell and all that. Not great. So you know. But like, I think this is actually, I know Nora's not one of our featured characters, but this was actually kind of a nice moment as well for her. Because, like, finally she got someone to talk about this. She's been seeking so long for like just someone to be human and say, yeah, what happened? Finally for her, it's like, great, finally. Like,
and I relate, like, Nora and Noah again are aligned in this. I also have been dying to know what was the fiery accident at the mill, and now I know it's our buddy, our beloved Toby. We don't know if it's fully his responsibility, but for sure he got drunk, he crashed, and Turbo Bastard, I have smelt the melt.
But right, Toby was drunk. We don't know if he was responsible. That's a different.
Right, he was just drunk. Maybe he was just drunk. You know, we don't know. You know, Chernobyl didn't happen in a day. It takes a village.
Right, and you know, I mean, yeah, exactly. But I think one of the key things about the scenes tonight, though, was that last line we got to see when Eric asked Rachel, when the accident happened, where were you again? And she's like, you know, I was out of town and I was selling, you know, I was trying to sell the thing.
She was
mighty sus.
No, she was, first of all, you're trying to sell this literally flaming piece of death trap.
Garbage. Yeah, and tough trap garbage, whatever. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, sure, who wouldn't want that? But okay, we're gonna touch on that in a second. But decisions, endurance scenes, and puzzles all contribute to whether a character will face redemption, suffering, or domination in Silent Hill Ascension, if they will burn in a fiery furnace, or if their finger will be collected by the collector or Rachel. All of this has to do with our fate and hope system. Their fate is decided across the length of the story. A character's hope needs to be high enough for them to survive a crucial story moment. Now, let's talk a little bit more about this interactivity that we have here.
Right. Because the thing is, Eric compared to Britt, and Eric's final fate decision has come up. We're going to talk about the decision in a couple of minutes. It's up if you do want to check it. It's what will Eric do about Rachel's plan. So don't worry, we will break it down. We'll go into it just if you're curious. You can check it out now. The big difference with Eric's fate to Britt is Eric's hope not so good. So gonna be maybe a different outcome to Britt depending on how things shake down, depending on what you as an audience decide. But again, when we reach final fate, it is that life or death moment, right? We saw it happen with Toby. We saw it happen with Carl. We're going to see it happen with Britt on Friday, and with Eric, that's Monday. It's going to be a couple of, those shows you're not going to really want to miss because, we said there were weeks to go because of the last cinematic cameo. Well, we've had our time with Eric. We definitely had our joys. Eric had many joys, as did people around him. And Britt honestly had a lot less joys. I will be honest, Britt did not go through a lot, but like Eric, it is life or death now. Like that's it. We've had he's had time to faff around. He's had time to like decide what he wanted to be, but we're kind of getting at the moment where his, what happens to him is gonna be final and be part of our story.
Right. And I also, by the way, I love that Rachel was like, I love in their conversation with Eric and Rachel that basically he was drawn to her because she's such a badass boss, and she was drawn to him because he's not.
It's like I look for that. I look for that quality in a man.
But really, honestly, controversially, I kind of like Rachel more the more gnarly she gets. I don't know why.
I mean, as a character, it's great, but like it's a pretty abusive stance, frankly.
I know.
Like, I want someone I can boss around. Like, oh, okay. Well,
listen, I'm no angel.
That's fair, but. Whether you're an angel or a demon, you're going to talk about Eric's character profile because that's going to be up on screen. Let's recap kind of Eric's story so far because it's not going to last a lot longer.
Okay, let's recap Rooney. So, general sentiment for Eric has been strong redemption and negative hope. That's risque. Top decision. Whose side will Eric tell Xavier is on? And you chose faith, which was the redemption option at 67%. The most heated decision, which is why I'm using my fan because I'm literally sweating right now, has been how will Eric respond to Xavier's invitation? And as y'all know, he offered himself as the satyr, which was the damnation option. But oh, what a sweet damnation. If I gotta be damned, well, then I'd rather be damned having a morgy with you. That was stop Krista from participating, which was the redemption option, with less than 0.1% difference.
Yep. So a lot of Eric's arc. So Eric's arc is kind of interesting because lack of a spine.
Eric's arc is better than Noah's arc, you know. Sorry.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. I just have to let that one hang. It's just, fundamentally, he's a character who couldn't decide what to do. He couldn't decide whether to cheat or not on his spouse. He couldn't decide whether to stay or not with his spouse. Couldn't decide anything. Kind of let things happen around him. Lack of a spine. Getting a little bit more in the last scenes, but there was one thing that Eric has been from start to finish, which is he's always cared for Faith. He's always been, like, when it comes to Faith, he takes decisions. He has been an active, proactive fodder. When Faith is like, "Oh, I might have to do bad stuff," he's like, "No, don't worry, sweetie, I'll take care of it." Bam, bam,
Right.
or bam,
Right.
talk, bam. You know, like he takes, you know, he protects his daughter. I like it. I like seeing the fatherhood aspect of Eric is really strong, and it's the one aspect of the character that defines him is really the relationship with his daughter. Because to be fair, he doesn't like get bossed. The audience could have chosen that he gets bossed around by her, but in the end, he's more like a father in trouble, right? It's more like, he's trying to do the best by his child. And
Right.
that's a really important thing because, Eric is definitely defined by his relationship with the women in his life, literally. One bossing him around and one telling him you deserve better until Eric's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you, maybe not. I'm not sure here. But with his daughter, it's always been kind of like, no, definitely. Because he wasn't thinking of himself. When he's like, in comparison with Rachel, with Krista, or to a degree with Nora, not that there was any relationship side, but just that he was like, it was with himself, so he didn't know what to do. But when it was with his daughter, it's not about him, it's about her. And when it's about the other person, Eric's character did shine. No matter what else happened with that character, I think that was a really important part.
Right. And also, we got a glimpse of why he named Faith. He knew already that he wants to name his child Faith because it was the faith that he can have a better life, that escaping his home country that he had to leave, meeting Rachel, they're going to have faith together, So we really got a glimpse into that. Even though I do have to recall that Faith was like, Daddy, you always let the bad things happen. Well, a little bit.
I mean, the daughter is not duped. Like, she knows what's up. She's like, look, you're fine with me, but what are you doing with our people?
Exactly. No. Yeah, she knows. She noticed. But let's talk about our ongoing decision here.
Opening one, the one in Eric's final fate.
Oh, Lordy Lord, I'm sorry. This was a heat stroke. Okay, let's talk about our opening. Thank you so much, production. What will Eric do about the furnace? It must be a good idea. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah. Like you were talking. Like speaking of the arc, there might have been another pop culture allusion with opening that one up.
Yeah, for sure.
You ever see someone melt?
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe we all will get to see this. But so the options here are leave Rachel to the fanatics, or execute Rachel's plan, or warn the victims. Okay, we have our crazy Rachel on a rampage again. She was kind of like, she was a bit lost for a few weeks there. She was kind of like trying to understand, going into the other world all the time, hanging out with Astrid, like giving her a high five, going back, and now she's like, no more nonsense. I'm fucking, pardon my French, taking matters into my own hands. Or fingers, or somebody else's fingers.
I mean, somebody was looking for the man with 6 fingers. Now Rachel's the woman with 6 fingers and 1 eye. So we're kind of like circling around with a lot of different ways to look at this. Now you're right. Rachel's plan is a little artisanal cooking, which got a question like. And it's even worse, right? That it's at the site where such horror actually happened, wanting to unleash it again. And again, that line, right? When the accident happened, where were you again?
I was making real estate deals, honey.
Yeah, I do. I have a feeling we might. I literally don't know, but I wonder if we're gonna get more info on where she might have been that day.
Right. I don't know. I think we might, because it kind of seemed that way. But whatever it was sus. And I have to mention, this is a very Silent Hill moment also, when we are, dealing with the fiery pits of the town again. We're revisiting the furnace. And you're right. Like, it's kind of a wood fire human, a fire. How do you call it? It's like there's a nice name for the cooking.
It's you can smell it from afar. That's
Applewood,
important, right?
Applewood, Eric.
Oh. Yes, no, very important. Yeah. So that's important, right? Is like What I do like about this, right, and it harkens back to Eric's character before Eric was one of our featured characters, before our, beloved Toby passed away. Sorry, Layla. It's this concept of, well, Rachel was the one taking the decisions for Eric. And this is where Eric finally gets a chance to take a decision in regards to Rachel, where he's going to be the one to take the action. Because we've seen a few of Eric's decisions, and in the end, Rachel's like, yeah, whatever. Like, I know what you're going to say. I'm fine, whatever. Whereas this one, he's probably going to have to take action. And it's a final fate decision, which means we're probably going to see a lot of that. That's going to be a pretty strong action right there.
Right. It's the final countdown, Da-da-da-da. Sorry, I don't know if anyone has been introduced to Europop, but I recommend...
I'm sure they have. And if they haven't, they leave a blessed life. We need to protect everybody. No, I do actually like Europop, but different times. Now, let's remind Noah as well. Friday is a big show, so Brit's Final Fate. We also have obviously our guest Stefan coming up, but it's a bit of a particular guest. So production's going to put the details about our Ask Stefan segment on screen. Noah.
Yeah, so we have our little one-off segment here of Ask Stefan your story questions. So our creative director, Stefan Bugai, will answer your story questions on April 12th, on Friday. Silent Hill Ascension on X and Facebook, Silent Hill Ascension on Instagram and TikTok. Drop us your questions. We will have questions in the chat as well during the interview. But, the more we get in advance, the more we can kind of like set the mood, turn on the candles, turn on the furnace. I'm fine. I'm sweating. But please.
And you'll be back to ask this stuff too, so it's all good.
Right, I will be. But be sure to be here for that, because it's a really great opportunity to ask our creative director questions that my mind is too feeble to even answer. So this is a really good opportunity. Don't miss it. We have Final Fate for Brit, and we have Asking Stefan questions. Be sure, do not miss that. But let's talk a little bit again about what happened, because we had a lot on the pre-show as well with Brit. Brit basically has to decide what to do with her doppelganger, who seems to be a bit murderous. She threw again another bottle, smashed it, but doppelganger Brit says, broken glass will not save you. We have to decide what to do with Brit. Make sure to make an impact on that decision. Stick around in the app, and production, can you please show us the next show graphic? Let's go through it together. So we have our next pre-show on Friday. Our pre-shows at 5:40 p.m. Pacific time, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The show 6 p.m. Pacific time every weekday. And on Friday, an interview / question session, Q&A with Stefan Bugai on Friday. So please do not miss this.
Right, and the important part here for that interview is do ask the questions on social if you want it at best answered, because obviously we'll do our best to kind of answer the questions live in the chat, but a big reason we ask in advance, that gives us time to sift through it, get you the best quality of the answer. So if you really want your narrative questions answered, I strongly recommend doing it tonight, tomorrow morning. We'll obviously keep an eye out, but the sooner the better for us to make sure we have a great show for you on Friday. But the thing is, no matter what, you will have a great show on Friday, because again, in the post show, you do get that interview. Our guest Stefan will essentially answer a lot of your narrative questions as the story is kind of coming to a head, because we have Brit's Final Fate playing out live on Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific. You definitely do not want to miss that part of the show, but you'll not want to miss Snow and Layla, because they'll be there as well on at 5:40 p.m. Pacific, and that's always worth coming to watch. Now, Friday is a show not to miss. The Monday after, we also get Eric's Final Fate. So remember with Brit, right? It all comes down to this, right? A lot of you are basically chose to make it about a binary, and that binary is, what will Brit do to stop other Brit from harming Astrid? Kill her or embrace her? That's what's left with you to do until we meet again on Friday. So it was a delight to be with all of you, the audience. Absolutely a delight as usual to be in Noah's company and with you, the audience. Now, I had a great time. I hope you did as well. But our time tonight has come to a close. It is night for me. But whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are across the world, I hope you had a delightful show. And we cannot wait to see you again for our live scenes tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific and on our hosted show at 5:40 p.m. Pacific on Friday. Please take care.